The Christian church is being unfaithful to Jesus. All of the Christian churches are. The Catholic Church, the Protestant churches, the non-denominational churches, the evangelical churches, all of the Christian churches, to a greater or lesser extent, with rare exceptions, are being unfaithful to Jesus. The unfaithfulness consists in believing in a false prophet who came after Jesus, whose name is Paul of Tarsus, in nourishing themselves with his words, with his doctrine, as if it were the word of God, in living according to his teachings, and in reproducing and giving life to his teachings, spreading them. We live in a world whose well-being depends on a Christianity based on the words of Jesus preserved in the Gospels without the addition of the words of any other man. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, not Paul. The doctrine of Paul diverts Christians from the path to salvation from the day of judgment and deprives the world from all the good that a pure Christianity could bring. It is needed a reformation of the Christian church. We need a restoration of the Christian church to lead Christianity, to build its doctrine, and to nourish itself from the words of Jesus preserved in the Gospels without the addition, and free from the words of any other man, free from the words of the false apostle and false prophet Paul of Tarsus. Jesus forewarned us that after his ascension he was going to be with his Father until the time of his second coming, that therefore he was not going to appear to anyone until that time. And he told us not to believe if somebody or someone said he was here or there. After the ascension of Jesus, there was no need and there was no room for the coming of a new prophet with new words of God. Faithfulness to Jesus requires not believing in the words of any other man who came after Jesus, claiming to have been instructed by God and claiming to have received new words of God. Not in Joseph Smith of the Mormons, not in Muhammad of the Muslims, not in Paul of Tarsus. Moses prophesied about only one prophet who would arise like him and who would have to be listened to. There would only be one Messiah, one Christ. Paul of Tarsus was a false prophet who managed to become a bad model, a bad idol, and to insert erroneous teachings into the Christian church that caused and still cause great damage in the world. Many people do not become Christians because of the wrong teachings of Paul. Many people do not become Christians because Christianity sustains that wrong teachings of Paul are the Word of God, such as his wrong teachings about women, for instance. The epistles of Paul caused the errors of the Christian church and Christian societies in the matters of discrimination against women, slavery, divorce, and its doctrine about sex, and promoted a judging attitude within the Christian church that caused great damage to the church and prevented many people from becoming Christians. They also caused the errors of the Christian church in the matters of origin of the power of civil authorities, gave basis for the intromission of the Christian church into civil matters, gave basis for the Inquisition, gave divine legitimacy to all forms of governments and dictators, no matter how brutal they were, teaching that all authorities have been instituted by God, for instance, and delayed the advent of constitutional democracy, which is so important for the world. They led the Catholic Church and other Christian churches to organize themselves in a very vertical way, to require submission from Christians to ecclesiastic authorities. They even led the Roman Catholic Church to require celibacy from its priests, which caused the loss of many priests and other damages within this church. They also led Christian ministers to position themselves as spiritual fathers, leaders, and teachers of other Christians. No Christian minister should allow another Christian to treat him as a teacher, as a spiritual teacher, as a spiritual leader, or as a spiritual father. No Christian minister should treat another Christian as a spiritual son. We are all son of the Father who is in heaven. I mean, we all Christians are sons of the Father who is in heaven. We shouldn't allow another Christian to call us even pastors. We have only one teacher and one pastor who is Jesus. It's time for the actions of the false prophet Paul of Tarsus to be stopped and for the word of God to come to the Christian church free from the words of any other man. Join me in the task of promoting this Christianizing reformation of the Christian church and to be a vehicle to carry the word of Jesus preserved in the Gospels to all the Christian churches and to all the nations. Please find me and follow me on social media and ask me any question that you want if you have any doubt or if you want more information about it. I wrote 2 books about the subject, one titled Jesus Without Paul of Tarsus and the other one titled The Christianization of the Christian Church. If you understand what I said in this video, you can't turn your back on Jesus. You need to learn more about the subject and you need to help. My name is Rui Barraco Marmot. God bless you, and I look forward to hearing from you.